Are you sure?
So welcome to this tiny little balcony, everybody. I'm Acting City Administrator Amy Brown, and I get to meticulous to this event. Thank you very much. Thank you. You may be wondering why someone who holds a job temporarily that is regularly referred to in articles about the last city administrator as obscure is co-hosting. And I think it's because I'm the first member of the LGBT community to hold the position. I get the pleasure of welcoming you here. Donna Sachet is going to take over MC duties when we go to the balcony, so they'll be much more professionally done than what I'm doing. But with that, I just wanted to say welcome and turn things over to our fabulous mayor, Mayor Edwin.
Okay, so are we ready for the official flag raising?
To the right, please.
Okay, on behalf of the city, I have the distinct pleasure to be your mayor and to work with everybody in the community. Our board of supervisors are here, our leaders, our grand marshals, to the parade, the 41st parade, and in celebration of that, of course, we let the world know what's happening in San Francisco yet again, and that is celebration, positive, changing the world, but also representing our culture here in San Francisco. That's most important. I am so thrilled to be a part of the city, to be able to do this on this week and in the week of the celebration. Thank you very much for being here, and shall we issue the flag? Right.
It usually takes two people.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Here we go.
Welcome to City Hall. I'm Donna Sachet. I'll be your MC today for the formal raising of the Pride flag over City Hall in San Francisco. Wasn't that exciting? I do a lot of MCing and I never know what to wear. Well, today I thought I have to be of the building, look like the building. You know, so somebody said I look like the First Lady. I'm not quite sure what that meant, but I'll take that job because it's less responsibility. I get the clothes and travel all around. So I don't know. But I love dressing up and coming to City Hall and knowing that we are part of this city, just as we are part of City Hall. This is a great crowd today. I've seen some great improvements. The Pride flag this year is sparkling new and crisp. Last year was a little tattered. I offered to pay a check, but they said no, they had a little bit of money left. So it looks better. The crowd's beautiful. Everybody's organized. Some of you dressed up. Some of you didn't. That's okay. You're all welcome at City Hall. But before we do the formal program, I do want to acknowledge that this suit is the same suit that I wore years ago when Nancy Pelosi walked into the room and had the same suit on. I don't think she's still wearing hers, but I am. In connection with that, we have a representative from her office here today. Dan Bernal, where are you? From Nancy Pelosi's office in Washington. Thank you for being here and representing her. This is a very treacherous thing to do. You know, when you MC something at City Hall, it's full of protocol, eggshells, and it's not easy to walk on eggshells with these shoes. But I'll try. If I make some mistakes, please forgive me. The most important thing to do, though, is to recognize that we are represented by people, elected officials, that want to celebrate Pride in San Francisco. Many of them are here today with us, and to kick things off, I give you the mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much. Happy Pride Month in San Francisco. Isn't that wonderful to hear? This is our city, this is our culture, and this is the way we live, and we want everybody else to live in equity as well. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I want to just welcome our supervisors for joining me today. Board President David Chu is here. Thank you, Board President. Supervisor Campos, David Campos is here. Supervisor Scott Wiener, thank you very much for joining us. Supervisor Jane Kim, thank you for being here, Jane. Supervisor Eric Marr is here as well. Have I missed any other supervisors? Mark Farrell was here earlier too. Thank you, Mark, for being here. I saw you. I have the great pride in introducing this year's Grand Marshals. But before I do that, I want to just suggest to you, I am looking forward to joining this parade this weekend. Looking forward to representing this city in my very first time, and perhaps the only time I'm mayor of City County, San Francisco. That's exciting. But as we raise the flag, I just wanted to let you know that as I joined our acting city administrator, Amy Brown, I just wanted to say to you that we haven't really advertised that because she's been such a great city administrator. You kind of overlook her background for it because she's been adequate. She's been doing the job very competently as our real estate director, as well as our acting city administrator, as well as being the deputy over those years. So Amy, thank you very much for filling that role. Appreciate it. That just goes to show that when you just look at talent, whether it's Steve Cava as the chief of staff or Amy, all the other talent that we have, you can be from any background and fulfill all these jobs. It's wonderful to be part of San Francisco. It's wonderful to be part of the San Francisco government as well. I want to welcome up here the Lifetime Achievement Grand Marshal for this year, Bishop Yvette Flunder. Come on up, Bishop. I hope he's on there. Thank you. And then I also want to call up all the rest of our Grand Marshals so that we can all join here together. The National Organizing Grand Marshal, the Trevor Project. Please come on up. The whole Trevor Project. Okay. All right, they're here in spirit. Our local organizational Grand Marshals, the LGBT Historical Society and History Museum. Come on up. And then we have our community Grand Marshals, Dr. Aaron Belkin. Come on up, Doctor. Good to see you. Thank you. Victoria Kolakowski. Did I say that right? All right. Good to see you. Christiana Remington. Come on up. Congratulations. Therese Terry Stewart. Dr. Roland Stringfellow. Come on up, Doctor. Oh, okay, Reverend. Sorry. And Graylin K. Thornton. These are our Grand Marshals this year in all their capacities. I want to congratulate each and every one of you and thank you very much for being part of our city's official Pride Month and Pride Parade. Thank you very much. All right. Hold on. And then I would like to note for you today that we have special certificates of honor from both my office and the Board of Supervisors to present these proclamations to the very special Lisa Williams and Executive Director Brendan Behan for this year's honors. Congratulations. Congratulations. And we have certificates for each and every one of you that are about to be passed out as well. Once we do that, we can take a group picture. All right. All right. We present to you all the official Grand Marshals of this year's Pride Parade. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mayor Ed Lee. I tell you, I did think when I had an assemblage like this that I might make a surprise announcement that I'm running for mayor of San Francisco. But you know what? I reconsidered. I thought with 36 announced candidates, I don't need to muddy the race with that. I was at a meeting this morning with the television people because we're going to cover the parade again on live television. It'll be on live stream. It'll also be in coffee that night. So I'm going to be a part of it. And they said, I understand the parade's going to be a lot longer this year. I said, why would it be longer this year? They said, all 36 candidates for mayor are in the parade. I said, oh, no, honey, that'll be a separate parade, and it'll be longer than this one is. So I don't know. So there are 36 candidates, but some of them are in the room here today. I'm just glad when I see passion for the city, and I hope that's what that represents. So support the one of your choice. And it won't be me because I'm not running. I'm not. Okay, please welcome now the president of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. David Chu.
All I want to say, there are actually 37 candidates, and Donna, you would make a great 38th, so let's go. All right, who's ready for this weekend? Are we all ready for this weekend? I want to tell you how proud I am of San Francisco. How proud I am about our tolerance, about our diversity, about our shared San Francisco values. I am so proud to help represent a Board of Supervisors that Harvey Milk once served on. I am so proud to be part of a city that comes together all the time, but in particular comes together in the month of June to celebrate our specialness as a community. Like many of you here, I didn't actually grow up here in San Francisco. I grew up in another part of the country that was not quite as tolerant or quite as diverse. San Francisco drew me as I think it drew all of us because we live in a very special place. And I just want to say on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, we have a special responsibility and a special leadership role in the world. As we come together, we symbolize all of this faith that we have in humanity, the faith that we have in the fight for civil rights, the faith that we have, frankly, as a common family. And so I just want to say on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, and I actually, Mayor Lee has presented all of the certificates that the board has presented to our Grand Marshals. I want to congratulate our Grand Marshals, not just for being LGBT leaders, but for representing what is truly the very best of what it means to be a San Franciscan. So with that, I also have the pleasure of recognizing and bringing up here one of my wonderful colleagues, a person who I got to know in law school long ago, a person who has been a tremendous leader in San Francisco within the communities that he has been so proud to represent. David Compass, will you please join me here on? Come on up.
Thank you, President Chu. Let me say that I'm very proud to be here today, and I do think it's a time to celebrate the diversity, and it's not just tolerance, but it's actually embracing that diversity. But I do want to take a moment, as we look across this beautiful building and we see the statue of Harvey Milk, who is looking at us. I think it's also important for us to remember why people like Harvey gave their lives. And the fact is that we have come a long way, but we still have some ways to go. And it's not just that we have some ways to go outside of San Francisco. We're still fighting for equality here in California. We're still fighting for equality at the federal level. We're fighting for equality across the country. But even within San Francisco, even within the LGBT community, there are still issues that we need to address. We still have high unemployment within our transgender community. We still have LGBT youth that are homeless in San Francisco and need a place. And so it's important for us as we celebrate, and it's important to celebrate our achievement, to also recommit ourselves to the struggle, because that struggle continues. And it's important that we do that not only during Pride Week, but that we do that throughout the year. And I want to thank my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors. I want to thank the entire family, the elected family of the City and County of San Francisco. I see former Supervisor Duffy here. I see the City Attorney's Office. And I also want to thank Mayor Lee, because Mayor Lee, I think that one thing you've demonstrated in your tenure is that you do care about the entirety that is San Francisco, that you do care about the LGBT community, and that you're committed to making sure that the choices that are made here in San Francisco and our government, whether it's the budget or other programs, that they do reflect the values of San Francisco. And so on behalf of the LGBT community, I want to thank you for being responsive to our needs, and we continue to be committed to work with you. And again, thank you very much for being here, and happy Pride, everyone. And now it is my honor to call upon my colleague from District 8. And by the way, I think, just so you know, it wasn't planned that we have 3 graduates of Harvard Law School have to speak at an event. But my colleague from District 8, and I'm very proud to be able to work with him on the Board of Supervisors, and as one of 2 LGBT members of the Board of Supervisors, it's really important that we work together. My friend, Scott Wiener.
I can tell you stories about Supervisor Campos in law school, but I won't. And I just want to say how proud I am to continue to work with David Campos, fighting for our community, fighting for HIV funding. And actually this morning, Supervisor Campos and I were at a regional transportation meeting where a bunch of Tea Party people came out and told us that we were working for the UN and that we were communists and all that. And I thought, for the millionth time, how much I love San Francisco, how nice it was to get back. And what I also love is that I remember in the early 1990s, shortly after I came out, marching in my first Pride Parade in Philadelphia with my parents. And fast forward almost 20 years, I think how proud I am to represent District 8 at the Board of Supervisors and to be marching on Sunday with my community representing District 8. So have a wonderful Pride weekend, everyone, and enjoy.
Well, you know, some people about 6 months ago said it wasn't going to happen. And I was in a bar one night, and a friend of mine said, Donna, will there be a parade this year? I mean, there's going to be a parade every year. How big it's going to be, how organized it's going to be, is a credit to many, many people who came together this year as never before. And they were led by the next 2 people who are going to address you. Please welcome the board chair, Lisa Williams, and the executive director, Brendan Behan.
Thank you. Can you get to me? Thanks, and thanks so much for everybody coming out. My name is Lisa Williams, and I'm the chair of San Francisco's Pride Board. I'm very pleased to be here. I'm very pleased to be here to celebrate Pride 2011. As Donna said, there were some challenges, but folks like you stepped up, and my board of directors stepped up, and our staff stepped up, and we're here today to kick off our celebration. So thank you, Mayor Lee, for having us and hosting us. I also like to thank Joaquin Torres, Paul Henderson, the neighborhood services, the mayor's office, the staff, for supporting us from the beginning to the end. Also want to thank Treasurer Jose Cisneros, our supervisors David Campos, Scott Wiener, Mark Farrell, Malia Cohen, who stood up for us, and all the other supervisors who called us and said, what can we do for you? For many years, San Francisco Pride has had a strong relationship with the city. And with that, I also want to recognize our former supervisor, Bevan Duffy, who has been here in the past and is currently with us now. So thank you so much, Bevan. I'd like to express my gratitude to our fellow board members. We have a lot of new board members. I'm so proud of all of you. From our treasurer, Bill Heminger, Joshua Smith, been with us about 18 years, our board secretary. Our new board members, Lou Fisher, Reggie Johnson, Lord Martin, and Eric Rosswood. This year marks the 45th anniversary of San Francisco Pride, and we continue to create diversity, march in the streets, dance, and parade. This year we'll be focusing on our youth. Once again, Pride is the forefront of protecting our LGBT youth and fighting for bullying. Since Pride last year, our community has continued to fight. We've had a victory with Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Last August, a federal judge ruled and overturned Prop 8. We continue to fight marriage equality, and we continue to lead the AIDS fight, HIV and AIDS, for our community. Our theme this year, in Pride We Trust. Many have said, what a theme. How could you possibly have the theme this year? But I actually think folks had it right. It's in San Francisco that we fight for equality, we have a diverse culture, we fight for liberty, and we fight for freedom from everybody. So it's fitting that the community, our leaders, can trust us, can trust our great city mayor to stand up with us, to stand proud. I hope you all join us in the march, in the celebration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. I think I have a particular role in being able to witness how much work this board of directors has put into turning this organization around in a very, very short period of time. And I think it's hard to see, and it's something that doesn't make headlines when you meet every week from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m. till 2 a.m., and then you meet the next day and you do it again. And this board of directors has done that. They have worked tirelessly. And Lisa has led this board through thick and through thin, bringing the team together. So I want to ask for a round of applause for this team who's made Pride what it is this year. So I know there's lots to be seen this week. I am not the center of it all, so I will be very short, but I do want to say thank you, Mayor. We share one thing in common, which is we both have interim in our title. It's a tough load to bear, but I'm there with you. I also want to thank the Board of Supervisors as well. I know that David Campos, Supervisor Wiener, Mark Farrell, Bevan, our former city supervisor, have just been tremendously helpful in supporting the committee in tough times, and we couldn't do it without you. So to our pride, to your pride, this is yours. And I think without further ado, without further ado, Donna Sachet.
It's wonderful being the MC, I tell you. I'm having a great time up here, but let me tell you, I didn't love San Francisco when I first moved here. Can you believe that? 20 years ago, I moved here. My first year was kind of tough. I just didn't connect. It was like the cogs and the gears weren't mixing, and a year into it, I made a couple of decisions. I canceled my New York Times subscription. I let go of New York. I joined the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, and I started volunteering in an AIDS organization. And those three things were telling me that I was going to meet San Francisco halfway. And now I stand here in City Hall with all of you, with the mayor, with the Board of Supervisors. I mean, I've come a long way, and it's a matter of me reaching out and the city reaching back. It's a two-way street. I love this city, and I'm going to love this music performed now by members of the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus.